Namaskar, good afternoon and welcome to Midday Prime. I'm Gautam Roy. Well, in the next 1 hour, we'll bring you up to speed with all that's been happening through the day today, and that is building up to the moment where we're seeing a lot of action taking place at the cabinet level, where a slew of key legislations, including the Citizenship Amendment Bill, has been approved by the cabinet. A new bond is being introduced into the country as well, which will be exchange traded. Lots happening on other fronts too, from international to sports. First up, our big news. Union Cabinet clears a slew of key bills for introduction in Parliament, including the Citizenship Amendment Bill, Central Sanskrit University's Bill and Personal Data Protection Bill. It also approves extension of SC and SC reservations in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabhas for another 10 years. The Cabinet approves the launch of Bharat Bond Exchange Traded Fund. Finance Minister Niramala Sitharaman says the country's first corporate bond ETF will provide additional money for state-owned firms and other government organizations. The government will form a committee to suggest necessary amendments in criminal laws to tackle mob lynching. Home Minister Amit Shah says suggestions have been sought from states and union territories for the purpose while replying to questions in the Rajya Sabha. President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Defence Minister salute the country's sailor soldiers on Navy Day. Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh says the Indian Navy is capable of taking on all challenges. The Supreme Court gives conditional bail to former Union Minister P. Chidambaram in the ED's Annex Media money laundering case. The top court cautions the Congress leader on attempting to influence witnesses or giving statements in the media apart from travelling abroad. Four soldiers killed in two separate incidents of snow avalanches near the line of control in North Kashmir. The four soldiers were trapped when in Tangdar area of Kupwara district it was hit by an avalanche on Tuesday. In international news, the House Intelligence Committee releases its impeachment report against President Donald Trump, alleging that the president abused his power in office. Judiciary Committee of the House will now open its proceedings today on the report. And in sports, Manchester City get back to winning ways in the Premier League with a comfortable victory at Burnley. Manchester United play hosts to Tottenham Hotspur tonight at the Old Trafford. Jose Mourinho aims to keep 100% start as Tottenham manager. Well, we're beginning with the big news for the moment, and the Union Cabinet meeting has been held today under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi, where several important decisions have been taken. The Cabinet has cleared the Citizenship Amendment Bill today. Briefing media in New Delhi after the Cabinet meeting, Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar said that the bill takes care of India's interest and it will be introduced in Parliament as soon as possible.
बिल इसको भी मंजूरी दी है, उसको भी इंट्रोड्यूस होने के बाद देश भर में चर्चा होगी.
The Cabinet also approved a proposal to extend reservation for SCs and STs in the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies for another 10 years. The reservation for these categories in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies was to expire on the 25th of January next year. That's just next month.
Reservation to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because that is essentially for political thing, and in the social justice interest, this SC/ST reservation will now be extended up to 2030. 10 years extension has been given.
The Cabinet also approved the withdrawal of Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Second Amendment Bill 2019.
जम्मू एंड कश्मीर रिजर्वेशन जो किया था, पहले हमने बिल पास किया था राज्यसभा लोकसभा में, लेकिन बाद में जम्मू कश्मीर रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिल पास हुआ और इसलिए अब जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख दो सेपरेट हो गए और उसी बिल में रिजर्वेशन का प्रावधान था और इसलिए अब ये बिल इररिलेवेंट हो गया. तो इसको वापस लेने का एक प्रस्ताव हो गया।
And the cabinet also gave its nod to Personal Data Protection Bill 2019, which will be introduced in the current session of Parliament.
Cabinet has given permission for creating an umbrella bond ETF, through which we hope to diversify the investor base and bring in a lot of retail investors into the market. And how will we have the retail investors come into the market? Because the units are not going to be valued more than 1,000 rupees each. Therefore, the investor doesn't have to hold large quantities of money to go and buy 1 crore worth for the bond. He can participate in this even by just buying 1,000 rupee unit.
So that was Finance Minister Niramala Sitharaman talking about the first corporate bond which will be exchange traded as well. The cabinet taking that call as well. Shailendra Mishra, my colleague, now joins us for more on the cabinet decisions. Shailendra, just tell us in the essence of what the cabinet has done today is basically approve a lot of key bills and then this bond as well. Tell us a little bit more about the thought behind these steps.
जी, हम जानते हैं कि संसद का सत्र चल रहा है। ऐसे में सरकार विधायी एजेंडे को तेज़ी से आगे बढ़ाना चाहती है और यही वजह है कि आज 6 विधेयकों से जुड़े अहम फैसले लिए गए हैं और उसमें सबसे अहम हम जानते हैं कि नागरिकता संशोधन विधेयक है जिसे कैबिनेट की मंजूरी मिली है और जो ये खबरें आ रही हैं कि कल ही जल्द से जल्द इसे सदन में रखा जा सकता है या जितनी जल्दी हो सके सरकार इसको सदन से पारित कराने की कोशिश करेगी और यही वजह है कि आज इसे कैबिनेट की मंजूरी दी गई है और अब कहा जा रहा है कि जल्द ही ये विधेयक सदन पे रखा जाएगा और इसे पारित कराने की कोशिश की जाएगी। हम जानते हैं कि इसके साथ ही साथ कई अन्य अहम विधेयकों को मंजूरी मिली है। श्रम सुधारों से जुड़ा जो विधेयक है, जो कोड बनाने की ओर सरकार आगे बढ़ रही है, उससे जुड़ा एक अहम विधेयक है, उसे मंजूरी मिली है। साथ ही साथ सीनियर सिटीजन्स से जुड़े एक अहम विधेयक को भी मंजूरी मिली है और डाटा प्रोटेक्शन और प्राइवेसी जिसकी बात की जा रही थी बहुत दिनों से, उससे संबंधित एक अहम विधेयक है जिसे मंजूरी मिली है। तो निश्चित तौर पर एक तरह से कह सकते हैं कि आज की कैबिनेट की बैठक में एक विधायी जो विधेयकों को लेकर जो तमाम अहम फैसले वो लिए गए हैं, 6 विधेयक उन्हें या तो मंजूरी मिली है और इसके साथ ही साथ एक विधेयक को वापस लेने का फैसला किया गया है। और सभी की जो सबसे ज़्यादा चर्चा है वो नागरिकता संशोधन बिल को लेकर है, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि 1955 का जो नागरिकता कानून है उसमें बदलाव के लिए ये बिल लाया जा रहा है और जो हमारे पड़ोसी देश हैं बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान, वहाँ के जो माइनॉरिटी हैं, वहाँ के जो अल्पसंख्यक हैं, हिंदू, सिख, बौद्ध, ईसाई, पारसी समेत कुल 6 धर्मों के लोग जो एक तरह से अवैध प्रवासी के तौर पर भारत में रह रहे हैं, उनके नियमों में बदलाव कर एक तरह से उन्हें नागरिकता देने की जो राह है वो आसान की जाएगी इस विधेयक के जरिए। जी
शैलेंद्र, इस ऐलान से पहले जो कि आज प्रकाश जावड़ेकर और निर्मला सीतारमण साथ बैठे थे, उन्होंने किया इस बिल के बारे में बहुत कयास लगाए जा रहे थे कि जो पहले स्वरूप आया था इस बिल का उसमें कुछ तब्दीली करके इस बार के संसद सत्र में लाया जाएगा। इसके बारे में कुछ जानकारी मिल पाई? ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है क्या?
ये देखिए, हम जानते हैं कि कई तरफ से चिंता जताई गई थी। विपक्षी दलों ने एक तरह से इस विधेयक का विरोध किया था और इसके साथ ही साथ उत्तर पूर्व के तमाम सामाजिक संगठनों ने, राजनीतिक दलों ने दरअसल अपनी चिंताओं से सरकार को अवगत कराया था, सुझाव रखे गए थे। और हम जानते हैं कि इस विधेयक को कैबिनेट की मंजूरी से पहले गृह मंत्री अमित शाह ने लंबे दौर की बातचीत की है तमाम उत्तर पूर्व के प्रतिनिधियों के साथ, राजनीतिक दलों के नेताओं के साथ, सामाजिक संगठनों के साथ और साथ ही साथ उनकी जो चिंताएँ हैं खासतौर पर उत्तर पूर्व के संस्कृति की सुरक्षा के लिए उस पर कोई आंच ना आए, इसके लिए तमाम जो सेफ गार्ड की बात है वो सूत्र बता रहे हैं कि दरअसल उस पर विचार किया गया है। और जैसा कि कैबिनेट पर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बताया भी गया कि जब इस विधेयक के सारे प्रावधान सामने आएंगे, विधेयक पर चर्चा होगी सदन में, तो सब कुछ स्पष्ट हो जाएगा और जो चिंताएं हैं एक तरह से वो दूर हो जाएंगी और सभी के इंटरेस्ट को ध्यान में रखा गया और देश हित को ध्यान में रखते हुए इस विधेयक को मंजूरी कैबिनेट की दी गई। तो निश्चित तौर पर असम और उत्तर पूर्व के लोगों की जो चिंताएं हैं, खासतौर पर असम अकॉर्ड को लेकर खबरें आ रही हैं कि उससे जो जुड़े महत्वपूर्ण सुझाव हैं उन पर विचार किया गया है। लेकिन विधेयक में किन नए प्रावधानों या किन बदलावों के साथ ये विधेयक सदन के पटल पर रखा जाएगा, इसके लिए थोड़ा इंतजार करना होगा। लेकिन सूत्र बता रहे हैं, संकेत स्पष्ट तौर पर है कि जो चिंताएं जताई गई हैं अलग अलग राजनीतिक दलों की तरफ से, उत्तर पूर्व के नेताओं की तरफ से खास तौर पर, उनका पूरा ध्यान रखा गया है। और ये जब इस विधेयक के जो प्रावधान सामने आएंगे तो स्पष्ट होगा कि दरअसल सरकार ने उनकी चिंताओं का पूरा ध्यान रखा है और देश हित को देखते हुए इस विधेयक के प्रावधान में तमाम बातें शामिल की गई हैं। जी,
और ये भी कहा गया है कि जल्द से जल्द इसे सदन के पटल पे लाया जाएगा और वो निर्णय सभापति लेंगे। तो हम शायद ये मान सकते हैं कि आज या कल, आज तो नहीं, शायद कल या परसों तक इसे पटल पे लाया जा सकता है। Thanks for joining us for the moment, Shailendra. We are yet to find out when exactly will the bill be brought back in to the House, but it's quite likely that it might happen tomorrow or even day after. That's what Prakash Javadekar was saying, because it really depends on the allocation of business, which is the prerogative of the people who are running the House and not that of the government alone. But as far as this Citizenship Amendment Bill is concerned, it's been on the agenda of the government since 2014 and it's quite essential. Let's just tell you a little bit more about the salient features. Well, what is it about? Well, the bill aims to amend provisions of the Citizenship Act of the 1955. So it's an old law which this bill intends to change for the benefit of a certain section of people. Now, who are these section of people? Let's find that out as well. What happens is when this bill is amended, it will give citizenship to nationals from 3 neighboring countries. Now, what kind of nationals? Well, these are also of a specific nature as well. If you look at the provision that it's intended to be changed, it will give citizenship for 6 minority communities coming to India from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. So, members of 6 different minority communities. Now, which communities are they? Well, citizenship to immigrants from Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Christian and Parsi communities. So, these are the 6 communities that will get citizenship. The bill will help those escaping religious persecution in neighboring countries. That's what the government is saying, that a lot of people since 1947 have been coming from these neighboring countries into India to escape religious persecution. They've been discriminated against in their countries, so we need to give them citizenship. Citizenship for immigrants coming to India till December 2014 from these 3 neighboring countries. So there's a cut-off date as well, about which again there was speculation that there could be some change, but we don't know as yet. Immigrants staying in Assam and other parts of countries are set to benefit. So this is what is broadly the Citizenship Amendment Bill is all about. Now, if you look further as to what is the provision? Well, it will apply to all across countries and not just Assam. It will be valid for the entire country, not just Assam. So that is it's a national level bill, and the immigrants will be able to stay in any part of the country after getting citizenship. So it will not confine them to any pockets of the country. They can go and stay in any part of the country. It will give them that kind of right. Now, why is it being opposed? Why is the Citizenship Amendment Bill being opposed? Well, the bill is being seen as changing the definition of illegal immigrants. That's an issue that cropped up in the Northeast as well the last time the government tried to pass the bill in Parliament. It's being seen as violating the 1985 Assam Accord, because that Assam Accord, the next pointer will tell you, essentially talked about deportation of all post-1971 Bangladeshi immigrants. So people have this perception that this is being negated because of the Citizenship Amendment Bill. Now it's up to the government to tell them how that is not the case. The bill is seen as discriminating between Muslim immigrants and immigrants from other religions. That's also one perception about this bill. Again, the government is saying something to the contrary. The bill is seen to be violating Constitution as it provides religion-based citizenship. That's also an objection to this bill, which again the government is saying no, that is not the case. Now let's also bring you the government's case as well. Why the government wants the CAB? Well, difference between those escaping religious persecution and infiltrators. So the government is saying these are 2 different kind of people altogether. There are those who come illegally into the country and there are those who have been forced by circumstances to come to the country. The Home Minister said illegal infiltrators come because of economic reasons and then they disturb peace. So these are not the kind of people we want who just come in an unwanted manner and then they create problems here. He's also said that the NRC and the CAB are different. The NRC, if you remember, is National Register of Citizens. That's a different matter from the Citizenship Amendment Bill. NRC is for identifying illegal immigrants. This is to give citizenship to those who've come forced by circumstances into India. Now, decrease of 20% in number of minorities in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh since partition. This is a known fact, it's documented, and the government is very concerned about that. Because of religious persecution, these people, the numbers have been declining. They've either been forcibly converted or they've been forced out of the country. Minorities facing religious persecution in 3 neighboring countries. That's what the government's argument is also. And we've seen that happening. We've seen people coming in. There have been wide reports of that, of almost all communities that are being given protection now and provided for in CAB. Need to right wrongs of history by giving citizenship to post-1947 non-Muslim immigrants, because these countries are Muslim dominated, the 3 countries that this bill talks about, and these people are facing a bit of a hostile situation in these countries, so the government wants to right the wrongs of history. So that's what this entire bill is about. And let's bring in now our guest, senior journalist Shekhar Iyer as well. And Shekhar, if I could ask you, the bill is a contentious one, no doubt, and it's up to the government to clear the air, to explain to the House that, all these perceptions about it is not correct. You think the government will be able to do that in the current form that the bill is? Because right now we're not even clear if the bill has had some changes.
Yeah, because what the new bill is going to be a lot different from what was earlier passed in the Lok Sabha, and which elapsed because of the House, the term of the House was over and the new Lok Sabha has come. Now, we have seen in the last 2-3 days the Home Minister encouraging different groups from the northeastern states, their chief ministers, their ministers, the student groups, because there is a lot of concern in the northeast about whether they are illegal migrants or whether they are people who came as refugees because of religious persecution. So I believe that the new bill is going to have some provisions which will take care of their concerns, particularly whether it is applying the inner line permit case.
Correct.
Or some of the areas are already covered under the 6th schedule, where because they are inhabited by the indigenous people and nothing should be done to change the demography of those places. But basically I think the reality is about who are the people who came because of religious persecution from the neighboring countries. Obviously they are the people who already that these neighboring countries are declared Islamic countries, and these people had to leave because of persistent religious persecution. So therefore this bill takes care of those Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Christians who had to leave the neighboring countries because of religious persecution, and for them India was the natural home. Now this bill seeks to take care of them who have come here and stayed in this country for a long time but currently are having a status of being refugees. Now this is to take care of them. Now what we are going to see in Parliament is, of course, the opposition is saying this is making a distinction on the basis of religion. But I think the reality has to be appreciated that these people did not come for economic reasons. They came largely because of religious persecution. They had to give up their home, land and other things that they enjoyed in the neighboring countries. But because of what we have seen, rise in religious extremism in these neighboring countries, and they had to come. You just showed a statistics how the number of minorities has been falling in these countries. Now along with that, the question of illegal migration which is to be tackled, which is a problem in many parts of the country, particularly in the northeast.
In the northeast again.
Now there is a data which shows that some of the border districts in Bengal, in Assam, they have seen a very sharp increase in demography, largely because of illegal migration. So these are two separate issues. So this citizenship bill addresses problems of those people who came to India, who took refuge in India as a natural destination because of religious persecution.
Yes, and the other question about constitutionality, Shekhar, that is the larger question. That's a more fundamental question. And you feel the government is through this bill able to address those questions as well?
Well, I think the basic opposition to this bill from the opposition is that you cannot pass a law which keeps religious domination as a way of distinguishing between migrants, illegal migrants, and those who came as refugees. Well, I think a lot of reality has to be understood, and also the opposition too will face the charge that, in states like Bengal particularly, where a number of people who came illegally have managed to acquire papers and or even voters. So there is obviously an argument, counter argument, that are some parties trying to protect their voters who have become their banks or vote banks. So I think this argument will be made in parliament. But I think what the opposition needs to understand is that we have to distinguish between those who came in because of religious persecution and those who came as illegal migrants because of better economic opportunities. Now, the whole thrust of the government's argument is you cannot allow illegal migration to go on unchecked, because that is a burden on our resources. That is a burden on our planning process. Now, there has to be a distinction, and NRC is, of course, a totally different subject.
Correct.
But we need to check illegal migration. You see, that is a different problem. But those who have come into the country already, now some of these people who escaped religious persecution, they have been staying in states like Rajasthan, even in Delhi, in Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, and till date they have been enjoying a status of virtually a stateless people because their citizenship could not be settled. Now this bill addresses the problem.
They are in a bit of a limbo because they can't buy land, they can't even get jobs in many cases, and that's a huge problem for them.
Yeah, because and some of them have been here for more than 3-4 decades. But their situation has
some of them, they've been granted exemptions under the Foreigners Act and the Passport Act, but that's not enough.
Yeah, that is not enough, and they need to be considered a full citizen because having stayed here, and all of them are non-Muslims.
So then it becomes a human right issue as well.
Yeah, it becomes a human rights issue, and how do you deal with them? And you cannot equate them with the other illegal migrants. So therefore, I think the opposition needs to understand this issue, that this is about those stateless people, those non-Muslims particularly. The fact that the bill doesn't talk about just Hindus, it talks about Sikhs, it talks about Christians, it talks about Jains. There are others who came, particularly from countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. And these countries have seen religious persecution for a long time, and people have left their home and earth to come to India. I think that distinct approach is needed, because these people had to come to India because they could not have gone elsewhere.
And how do you see this connecting with this global environment as well, where we've seen a lot of people, immigration, a lot of migration taking place because of reasons of conflict or even economic strife. How does that connect with this particular issue?
Well, you see, in this case, it has been, particularly of people who have been coming to India because of religious reasons. See, it was not purely driven by economic consideration, as in the case of illegal migrants.
Or war.
Or because of war, or the porous nature of the border.
Yes,
particularly on the
well.
Bangladesh side. Now, whereas if you are talking of these people have come over 3 decades, have been staying in camps, have been restricted in terms of seeking their rights. And this bill will address that problem, at least give them an identity which they haven't got because their status could not be decided. Now, in the case of illegal migrants, we have situation where, particularly where in Assam, you have had an agitation because for the simple reason that the local people have felt that they were being swamped or they were being overwhelmed, and could lead to a situation where they would be outnumbered by the people, these illegal migrants. That is why today in the northeast, in Assam or all these places, there is a fear
that is the only common link. That is the only common link between the CAB and the NRC, is that the CAB will let those who deserve to stay as proper citizens, and those who do not deserve to stay, they will be out because of the NRC. That's the only common link, right?
Yeah, that's a basic problem, because the one is, this bill, I believe, will address the concerns particularly of the northeast, particularly states like Assam, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur, where the fear is that they already have a problem of illegal migration. There are illegal migrants, and some of them could have acquired documents which to support their continuation stay. And there are, of course, the refugees too. Therefore, their concern is you have to distinguish these areas, and therefore I think in the last 2-3 days when we saw Home Minister Amit Shah ji engaging these student groups and from the
Yes.
northeast. I think some kind of a solution by either looking at the way the inner line permit system can be extended to cover these areas, to protect these areas from being overwhelmed or being overpopulated by these migrants, and also that citizenship bill actually
we have to wait and
does
see if
not
that is
disturb
provided for
the demography here.
in the bill that is being brought now to Parliament after it lapsed in the previous government's term. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Shekhar Iyer.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on now. Union government today said that amendments shall be made in the Indian Penal Code and the Code of Criminal Procedure on the basis of the suggestions to be received from states and union territories with regard to mob lynching. Replying to the supplementaries in the Rajya Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah said that at present there is no definition of mob lynching in the law, and under the IPC section of 302, actions have been taken in the matters. 302 relates to homicide. He said a committee will be constituted to look at the suggestions and necessary action will be taken to amend the requisite laws.
आईपीसी और सीआरपीसी में बदलाव के लिए मैंने स्वयं देश के सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों को और उपराज्यपालों को और जहां राष्ट्रपति शासन था वहां राज्यपालों को चिट्ठी भेजी है कि अपने अपने राज्य में अनुभवी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के अनुभवी और पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर्स से चर्चा कर उनके सुझाव को यहां पर भेजे और बीपीआरएनडी के तत्वाधान में एक कमेटी का गठन किया है जो कमेटी सीआरपीसी और आईपीसी के अंदर आमूलचूर बदलाव के लिए उस पर सोचने का काम कर रही है.
Union Communications, Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the government is taking numerous steps to improve the capability of state-run telecom companies, BSNL and MTNL. In response to a query in the Lok Sabha, the minister said that the government is making all efforts to improve the duo and is also planning to merge both BSNL and MTNL.
कि मैं तारीफ इसलिए करूंगा, अगर कश्मीर में बाढ़ आती है, तमिलनाडु में बाढ़ आती है, नेपाल में भूकंप आता है या उड़ीसा में तूफान आता है, तो ऐसे में फ्री सेवा बीएसएनएल ही करता है. दूसरी बात, जो डिफेंस का पूरा नेटवर्क है वो भी हमारा बीएसएनएल मेंटेन करता है. इसलिए हमारी सरकार की प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की अगुवाई में साफ सोच है कि बीएसएनएल एमटीएनएल स्ट्रैटेजिक एसेट्स हैं, इसलिए हमें इन्हें मजबूत करना है. हम कर रहे हैं. हमने रिवाइवल में एक बहुत ही अच्छा लोकप्रिय वीआरएस पैकेज दिया सर. और मुझे सदन को बताते हुए प्रसन्नता हो रही है कि बीएसएनएल और एमटीएनएल के कर्मचारियों ने स्वेच्छा से लगभग 92,000 वीआरएस ऑप्ट किया है. हम बीएसएनएल एमटीएनएल को मर्ज भी कर रहे हैं. मर्जर की वैधानिक औपचारिकताओं में समय लगेगा. सरकार का कमिटमेंट है कि हम इन्हें प्रोफेशनल, प्रॉफिटेबल बनाएंगे.
So we've just shown you members asking questions to ministers and ministers giving answers in Parliament. Clearly, business is going on. But what exactly has happened through the day and what more can we expect? Vishal Baristo is now joining us from Parliament House. Vishal, just tell us what's happened so far and what more can we expect through the day in both houses of Parliament.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Gautam.
Good afternoon.
Before I answer your question, the Rail Ministry has decided, if you are interested in biryani, to serve veg, egg and chicken biryani. So that's a good news. Now, what's coming up and what is more important is by 3 p.m. in the upper house of the Parliament, the very much talked about bill on the regularization and recognition of properties of the owners of the residents of the illegal colonies would be coming up. That would be an interesting thing to talk about. And as you heard the IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad saying, there have been a long debate. In fact, I've been covering this issue for a very long time, that it is the radiation that is coming out from these mobile towers are hazardous to health, to which the minister has said that these towers in India are manifold safer than what we have in other countries. So we need not worry about that. And as far as the BSNL is concerned, very soon it will also have the 4G facility, and the government is very much keen to make it a leaner and meaner organization. because the minister said that 75% of the total revenue earned is spent on dispersing the salary, while a company like Vodafone spends only 5% of its revenue. So we want to strengthen it, but at the same time, with the help of VRS, we want to make it a very efficient organization. And also the Home Minister, while answering to a query in the Rajya Sabha, he said that there is no clear definition of the mob lynching, and that is why we have written to the states to come up with their ideas so that we can, the alternative action could be defined in that. And another important thing that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, here is the issue of a Chinese vessel spying in the near Andaman and Nicobar Islands, to which the defense minister said that it's nothing to worry, because both India and China, we have an understanding, we have a mechanism, and since there is no line of actual control, so there are times where there is a mistake, but that was not spying in our seas. And moreover, we have dealt situation of any kind of animosity between the two forces. It has been dealt very carefully and through diplomatic relations. So these were the happenings in both houses of the parliament. Gautam?
Right, right. Vishal, thanks for joining us with an update on what's happening in parliament today so far and what can we expect in the next couple of hours as well. Thank you. Now, the Supreme Court today granted bail to Congress leader P. Chidambaram in the INX media money laundering case lodged by the Enforcement Directorate. The top court said Chidambaram could not leave the country without prior permission of the court, and neither should he try to influence witnesses nor tamper with evidence. The top court set aside the Delhi High Court's November 15 verdict denying bail to the former Union Minister, who has been in the custody for 105 days since the 21st of August, when he was arrested by the Central Bureau of Investigation, again in the INX media corruption case. Now, a three-judge bench headed by Justice R. Bhanumati granted the relief to the Congress leader on a personal bond of 2 lakh rupees with 2 sureties of the same amount. The bench, also comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and Rishikesh Roy, restrained Chidambaram from giving any media interviews or making any statements with regard to the case. The ED had arrested Chidambaram on the 16th of October in the money laundering case as well. The top court had, on the 22nd of October, granted bail to him in the INX media corruption case lodged by the CBI. And welcoming the Supreme Court's decision to grant bail to P. Chidambaram in the INX media case, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, his counsel, said that the court has given a fair and balanced judgment.
उच्चतम न्यायालय का एक व्यापक निर्णय आया है, काफ़ी डिटेल में है और सभी पक्षों को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए विशेष रूप से ट्रिपल टेस्ट को, विशेष रूप से ग्रेविटी यानी गंभीरता ऑफेंस की, विशेष रूप से आर्थिक ऑफेंस होने की बात, इन सब मुद्दों को एक व्यापक रूप से देखते हुए संतुलित रूप से समझकर फिर उच्चतम न्यायालय ने ये बेल जारी की है। मैं समझता हूं कि न्याय हुआ है, अच्छे से न्याय हुआ है, संतुलित न्याय हुआ है और हम इसका स्वागत करते हैं।
And reacting to the bail granted to P. Chidambaram in the INX media money laundering case, BJP leader GVL Narasimha Rao has said that Chidambaram will have to answer questions raised about him when he will appear in Parliament as well.
जिस प्रकार ये पूरा भ्रष्टाचार के कांड में वो शामिल हुए, उसके लिए पहले सदन को अवगत कराना पड़ेगा पूरे, तो उनके लिए मैं मानता हूँ ये बड़ा एम्बैरेसमेंट होगा। तो उनकी विश्वसनीयता और इस केस के दौरान और खुलासे के दौरान खत्म हो चुकी है।
Okay, and Vikas Sarthi, my colleague covering the proceedings in the Supreme Court, is now joining us live. Vikas, just tell us, what does this Supreme Court conditional bail really tell us about the kind of issues that the defense itself was raising about Chidambaram's liberty and rights vis-a-vis the kind of apprehensions the investigative agencies had?
Well, Gautam, so far as the conditions are concerned, these are the general conditions which court put in place when grants a bail to an accused. So far as the reasons given by the court said that court accepted centre's argument that economic offences are of grave nature, but court also said that we have to look into the aspect of each and every case. In this case, the court noted that when Supreme Court denied anticipatory bail to P. Chidambaram, that after that order, there was almost a gap of 45 days. So, investigating agencies had enough time to interrogate him. So, to keep P. Chidambaram in jail will not be fair as of now, because investigating agencies had already questioned him, and they also had almost 45 days to question him further. Apart from it, court tested this case on what Abhishek Manu Singhvi was saying, triple test, that he is not a flight risk, he has not intimidated any witnesses, he has not tried to subvert the judicial process. So these on that triple test, it is a case for the bail, and what Supreme Court says, that bail is a rule and not giving bail is an exception, and that exception should be there in that particular case. Apart from it, court also noted that he has been in jail for almost 105 days. Court also cited his age, that P. Chidambaram is not medically very fit. He is of 74 years, and he has been taking antibiotics for very long. So, considering all those aspects, court said that you cannot keep an accused in jail till the trial is over. So,
Right.
It's a right of an accused to apply for a bail, and at this point in time, court feels that investigating agencies had enough time to interrogate him, and in future, even if investigating agencies want to question him further, they can still question P. Chidambaram, and court has also directed him to cooperate with the ED and CBI. Apart from it, court said that it is a right of the accused, because we cannot keep an accused in jail till the trial is over.
Okay, and the court has also imposed restrictions on Chidambaram as far as making statements is concerned, and he's also a member of parliament, and a fairly vocal one, prefers to even write to critique the government as well. We'll have to see how Chidambaram really restrains himself from these urges, but thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Vikas Sarthi. Okay, now 6 personnel of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, that's the ITBP, have been killed and 3 others injured in an exchange of fire among themselves in Chhattisgarh's Narayanpur district today. The incident took place at the Kadenar camp of ITBP's 45th Battalion in Narayanpur, located around 350 kilometers from Raipur. Inspector General of Police, Bastar Range, Sundaraj, has said that according to preliminary information, an ITBP Jawan allegedly fired at his colleagues with a service weapon, killing 5 of them and injuring 3 others. Later, the Jawan who opened fire was also gunned down. The injured personnel were shifted to a nearby hospital. And talking to reporters, DIG Anti-Naxal Operation Devnath said that the cause of the incident is being looked into.
आज जैसे जानकारी मिली है, तकरीबन 9 बजे एक जवान ने अपने साथियों पे अपनी सर्विस राइफल से गोली चलाई, जिसमें 6 जवानों की मौत हो गई है, 2 जवान घायल है, और घायल जवानों को निकाला जा रहा है वहाँ से हेलीकॉप्टर के माध्यम से। और जो मृत जवान है वो अलग अलग राज्यों के हैं, ITBP सेंट्रल की फोर्स है, तो अलग अलग राज्यों के जवान हैं, जिसमें एक केरला का है, एक वेस्ट बंगाल का है, एक हरियाणा का है, ऐसे टोटल 6 जवान हैं, जिनको अभी घायलों को अभी रायपुर लाया जा रहा है। घटना का कारण अभी इसलिए नहीं संभव बताना है क्योंकि अंदर का कैंप है, जब तक बात नहीं होगी अधिकारी जाएगा नहीं किस वजह से हुई, इसलिए कारण तो अभी नहीं पता।
And Chhattisgarh Home Minister has expressed grief over the firing incident at the ITBP camp and said all medical facilities are being provided to the injured Jawans. Also, at least 4 soldiers were martyred in 2 separate incidents of avalanches near the line of control in North Kashmir. An army post in Tangdar area of Kupwara district was hit by an avalanche on Tuesday afternoon, trapping at least 4 soldiers. Bodies of 3 soldiers were recovered this morning, while 1 soldier was rescued alive. In another incident, a foot patrol of the army was hit by a snow avalanche in Dawar area of Gurez sector of the Bandipora district, trapping 2 soldiers. While one of them was rescued alive, the body of the other soldier was recovered during search operations. Our soldiers are bearing very tough conditions to keep the nation secure, and sometimes that takes a really heavy toll. Now, 16th International Seminar on Cement, Concrete and Building Materials is underway in New Delhi. The 4-day seminar aims at carrying out deliberations and discussions in innovations in the industry. The seminar also deals with discussion on ways to reduce carbon footprint. Speaking on the occasion, Union Minister for Railways, Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal said that the cement industry has tremendous employment potential for people. He also said that cement is the foundation of modern India.
Modern India cannot be built without cement. The various programs that we've initiated, Housing for All by 2022, the Sagar Mala, the Bharat Mala project, Smart Cities project, the huge highway programs that have been planned to be undertaken, the expansion of the railways, several new airports coming up. Opportunities are coming out galore. Our job and our laurels don't end at the plant. It should be taken to the logical end, right up to the consumption stage.
The nation is celebrating Navy Day today. Navy Day is celebrated to honor the achievements and the service of our naval forces. On the 4th of December 1971, the Indian Navy destroyed 4 Pakistani vessels, including PNS Khyber, during Operation Trident. On the day, those who sacrificed their lives in the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971 are also remembered. Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh laid a wreath at the National War Memorial in New Delhi on the occasion. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi have conveyed their best wishes and greetings to all Indian Navy personnel on Navy Day as well. The President in a tweet said, and I quote, "On Navy Day, my good wishes to all officers and men and women of the Indian Navy. The nation is proud of your commitment in protecting our maritime frontiers, securing our trade routes and providing assistance in times of civil emergencies. May you ever rule the waters. Jai Hind." And the Prime Minister in his message also saluted the Navy personnel and said that their valuable service and sacrifice have made our nation stronger and safer. He also shared a video message.
भारतीय नौसेना हमारे समुद्र तटों की रक्षा और सुरक्षा प्रदान करती है। जब हम इतिहास की ओर नजर करते हैं तो 800-900 साल पहले चोल वंश के समय चोल नेवी को सबसे शक्तिशाली नौसेनाओं में से एक माना जाता था। चोल साम्राज्य के विस्तार में उसे अपने समय का इकोनॉमिक सुपर पावर बनाने में उनकी नेवी का बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा था। स्वतंत्रता के बाद हमारी भारतीय नौसेना ने विभिन्न अवसरों पर अपना पराक्रम दिखाया। तत्कालीन राहत पहुंचानी हो, पड़ोसी देशों को संकट के समय मानवीय मदद पहुंचानी हो, हमारी नौसेना हमेशा गौरवपूर्ण कार्य करती रही है। हम भारतवासी हमारे सुरक्षा बलों के प्रति हमेशा गौरव और आदर का भाव रखते हैं। चाहे वो आर्मी हो, नेवी हो, एयरफोर्स हो, हमारे जवानों का साहस, वीरता, शौर्य, पराक्रम, बलिदान, हर देशवासी उनको सलाम करता है। 125 करोड़ देशवासी सुख चैन की जिंदगी जी सके, इसलिए वो अपनी जवानी देश के लिए कुर्बान कर देता है। मैं नौसेना से जुड़े सभी लोगों का अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
And Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh also conveyed his best wishes and greetings to all the Indian Navy personnel and their families on Navy Day. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "The nation has unwavering faith and pride in the Indian Navy. It is the manifestation of India's maritime power. We salute their indomitable courage and valor." And Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih will be jointly inaugurating the key development projects covering a wide range of sectors. In a tweet, the PMO informed that one of the projects includes the lighting up of Male using LED lights. The other is the launch of RuPay card in Maldives. 3 fish processing plants will also be inaugurated. A fast interceptor craft will be gifted to the Maldives as well. And it's time now in Midday Prime to get all the business updates. And for all your business and economy updates, we have Rukma with us.
Thank you very much, Gautam. And in our top story in business, in the backdrop of a worrying economic growth scenario, Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee is faced with a tough task as it gets underway with preparations to present the Monetary Policy Review tomorrow. Expectations are that it would go in for a 6th consecutive policy rate cut. If it does a 0.25 percentage point, that will take the total quantum of rate cuts in this cycle to 160 basis points or BPS. The attest reading of the annual retail inflation shows a jump to 4.62% in October, well above the 4% mark for the first time in 15 months and up from 3.99% in September. The GDP growth rate for the second quarter has been recorded at 4.5%, the lowest in 6 years. And replying to a question in the Rajya Sabha, Union Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Nitin Gadkari, said that so far the MSME sector has created 11 crore jobs in the country and the target is to generate an additional 5 crore employment opportunities by 2024.
Sir, MSME is the heart of the subject which is related with the growth of the country. Presently, 29% of the growth is coming from MSME. 49% of the export of the country is from MSME, and at the same time, now 11 crore jobs up till now it is created by MSME. So our concentration is maximum that how we can create more employment potential. For this 5 year, we have taken as a program where target is to increase 5 crore employment potential and taking export up to 50%. And 29% growth in the total growth, where we are now planning to make it up to 50%. Right. So now presently, but we are concentrate on the rural, agriculture and tribal area, because there is a lot of migration from the agriculture, rural and tribal area to the urban area, where we need to create more employment potential in the backward area, and that is the reason that government has given special attention on the development of MSME into the rural area.
And in market news, benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty started off on a weaker note today, tracking sharp losses in Asian markets amid growing uncertainties about US-China trade deal talks. Besides, investors seem to be taking a cautious stance ahead of Reserve Bank's monetary policy outcome, which is due tomorrow. The 30-share BSE gauge Sensex was down 119.42 points or 0.29%. at 40,556.03 in early deals. Likewise, the 50 scrip NSE Nifty fell 36.90 points or 0.31% to 11,957.30 in early trade. And Sundar Pichai has become the CEO of Alphabet, the group that owns Google. Pichai is already CEO at Google since 2015, when the company had announced a corporate restructuring, creating several different entities such as Google, Verily, Waymo, Loon and others, and putting them under Alphabet. Pichai is now CEO at both Alphabet and Google. As the CEO, he is now the big boss in the group because Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin are taking a step back. Larry Page has resigned from the post of CEO and Brin is no longer the president at Alphabet. For Pichai, who has been with Google for 15 years now, it marks one more triumph in his career. And that's all in business and finance for now. It's back to Gautam for the rest of Midday Prime.
Thank you, Rukma. And now we're turning to all the updates that are coming in from across the globe. Well, India and Uganda have received a special mention from the World Health Organization's Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus for the substantial reduction in malaria cases in 2018 over the previous year. According to the World Malaria Report 2019, the two high burden to high impact countries that achieved a significant reduction in malaria cases in 2018 as compared with the previous year, where India reported 2.6 million fewer cases. Giving the overall landscape, said the report, there were an estimated 228 million cases and 405,000 deaths globally in 2018, concentrated mainly in Africa and India. This represented about 3 million fewer cases and 11,000 fewer deaths compared to 2017. The United Nations launched a humanitarian appeal for nearly $29 billion today as climate change and increasingly protracted conflicts put tens of millions of people in urgent need of aid. The world body's Global Humanitarian Overview estimated that 168 million people worldwide will need some form of emergency assistance in 2020, including food, shelter and health care. That figure marks a record in the modern era, UN Emergency Relief Coordinator Mark Lowcock told reporters in Geneva, clarifying that he was referring to the period since the Second World War. The US House Intelligence Committee has released its impeachment report against President Donald Trump, alleging that the president abused his power of office. According to the report, Trump solicited the interference of a foreign government, that is Ukraine, to benefit his re-election. The matter will now be heard at the House Judiciary Committee, which will open its proceedings today. Meanwhile, Trump has said that the impeachment inquiry against him is a hoax being used by Democrats for political gain ahead of next year's presidential elections. And it's time now to give you all the sporting updates. And to take you across all the sporting arenas, we have Tapas with us.
Well, thanks Gautam, and let's start with the South Asian Games. India continues its outstanding performance at the 13th South Asian Games in Nepal. Indian athletes dominated the track and field events and clinched 10 medals, including 5 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze. India won the gold and the silver medal in the men's and women's discus throw events. Kripal Singh won the gold in the men's category with a new meet record of 57.88 meters. Gagandeep Singh grabbed the silver. In the women's section, Navjeet Kaur clinched the gold and Saravi Bishwas got the silver. In the men's long jump, Lokesh Sathyan won the gold and Swaminathan Rav won the silver. In the women's long jump, Sandra Babu bagged the bronze medal, and in the women's 200 meter, Archana Susneet clinched the gold and Chandralekha got the bronze. In men's 10,000 meters, Suresh Kumar clinched the gold, and in the men's Sajan Lama and Gyandesh Singh won the silver medal. And that's all from the SAG Games. Moving on to other sports, Manchester City got back to the winning ways in the Premier League with a 4-1 victory at Burnley. Gabriel Jesus scored the opening goal of the match in the 24th minute, and Gabriel then volleyed home Bernardo Silva's cross after the break to double City's lead. Midfielder Rodri added a stunning third from 20 yards, and substitute Riyad Mahrez netted a fourth to take them back into the second place in the league. Robbie Brady blasted in a late consolation for Burnley, his first Premier League goal in more than 2 years. Well, now looking forward to the match tonight. Manchester United play host to Tottenham Hotspur tonight, having failed to win either of their last 2 fixtures in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Jose Mourinho has won his opening 3 games in charge of Spurs, which has helped them move the North London side 2 points ahead of United in the standings. Manchester United's Paul Pogba remains sidelined with the ankle injury that has kept him out since the end of September. Tottenham will be without Eric Lamela and Michael Worm, who are still battling respective hamstring and calf injuries. Hugo Lloris and Ben Davies remain long-term absentees for the team. Moving on to some boxing stories, world heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz and his opponent Anthony Joshua held public workouts ahead of their highly anticipated rematch in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. Mexican-American Ruiz produced one of the boxing's biggest upset when he dethroned the previously undefeated world champion Joshua with a 7th round stoppage at the New York's Madison Square Garden in June. Their second WF, IBF and WBO title showdown dubbed as the Clash on the Dunes takes place in the Middle East after former Olympic champion Joshua triggered a rematch clause. What about that's going to be? And that's all from Sports Prime. Gautam, for more news and updates, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Tapas. Look forward to it. Well, now it's time for our next Live Prime segment, which, of course, is all about the softer side of hard news. A rare canvas by French artist Paul Gauguin from his time in Tahiti fetched 9.5 million euros in Paris, nearly twice its estimated value. The 1897 painting, the Burao 2 or tree in the local Tahitian language, had been expected to go for around 5 to 7 million euros. The buyer is an international collector, the Art Curial auction house said, adding that the artwork depicting an evocative Tahiti landscape would remain in France. In Paris, the Mobile Film Festival, in partnership with YouTube and UN Climate Change, featuring 60-second movies shot, has begun yesterday. As the Conference of Parties, or COP25 climate conference, gets underway in Madrid, this similar event focuses on actions to reduce emission and combat climate change. The Mobile Film Festival includes a film contest where 1-minute films will focus on issues like plastic waste, deforestation, air pollution and other environmental issues. The contest was considered as one of the most creative ways to create awareness in a short span of time. Over 800 films from 91 countries have been entered into the contest.
Anyway, guys, we better skedaddle. I didn't know it'd be this busy this time of year.
That's all we could pack in Midday Prime this afternoon, but the latest will continue right here on DD News and DD India, and we'll keep you up to speed on what's happening in Parliament and, of course, the fate of the Citizenship Amendment Bill as well. Do stay tuned.